All right, for the second half, we got Parrish, who's going to be sharing about how to create lovable content.
Woohoo!
And even as at first I thought this was a little bit of feminized talk, and I was like, what about the guys? Can we create lovable content? I think we can. Any guys agree?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to have lovable content.
See, he's staying for you.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
All right, so Parrish Wilson, she is a multi-talented woman. She has a blog. She also has a consulting practice, a coaching practice. She teaches workshops as well on the topic of content creation. So we're going to hear some tips about how to create lovable content. So let's welcome up Parrish Wilson. And make sure you keep tweeting away. I've been seeing not many people have been tweeting, so we still want to make sure everyone tweets Parrish's presentation. What's your Twitter handle?
I am just simply at Parrish Wilson. So
Yeah, whatever insights you get from her, make sure you tweet those out.
Parrish Wilson. 2 R's.
Somebody tweeted me. What do?
And follow each other, follow the hashtag and follow each other in the room too.
So tonight's been really perfect so far, actually, for this topic of lovable content, because what we've seen up here so far is passion, and that's where it starts, right? So yeah, my name is Parrish Wilson. I own Parrish Wilson Consulting, and I work with business owners, and I work with them around creating content that actually converts, content that they feel good about creating, and that their audience loves to read, okay? I started blogging, started many blogs over the years. I am a lifetime writer, but I really started blogging last year, and it had to come out. I had a almost 3-year-old and a 4-month-old at home, and it was really hard, and I was drowning, and I just started writing to share from my heart what was happening in my world, while also trying to run a business, and that, oh my God, I've got 2 kids, and I have these dreams, and how do I make it all happen, and what do I do, and I just kept putting it out there, and I got really, really beautiful responses from people. So in the past year, what this has led for me is I was nominated in the spring as one of the Vancouver Mom and Pop bloggers, and I have been able to build a business that does work around my family and allows me to support other business owners doing exactly what I love to do, and what I really do believe I was put here to do. So let's make sure I know how to use a clicker. Yes, so what is lovable content, right? What is it? What makes people love your content? It really comes from an intersection of who you are as a business owner, who you really, really are in your true self, your business persona. Now, this doesn't have to be every single thing about you, because that's your private life, but it has to be a lot of you and who you are in your heart, right? So you can have certain things in your life that you don't share, and that makes sense because we have to boundaries. But we need to share a lot. And when we share in a way that what we share is what our ideal client needs, wants, dreams, that's where we hit that point of lovable content. Why do you need lovable content? Why not just focus on SEO? Why not just focus on quantity over quality? Why would you even bother to put the effort in for lovable content? Well, lovable content will bring you more likes, comments, and shares. It will bring you more traffic. It will bring you more leads. And it'll bring you more sales. You need to have lovable content. There is too much content out there right now. There's too many blogs. Every single business owner has a blog, right? If you are in this room, you are either blogging or wanting to blog. There's too much information out there if you're not making the effort to be more important, to be more special, to be more yourself. And we see this. This is exactly what has been presented here so far today, right, is that it really is about bringing your heart to the process. If you don't connect, it just doesn't matter, right? Nobody's gonna care. Nobody will pay attention. Nobody will comment, like, or share if you're not connecting with them. So how do you create lovable content, right? Or more importantly, how do I create lovable content? Because I can't tell you how to do it for yourself. All I can do is tell you what I do. And every single client that I work with, I tell them what I do. I don't tell them what I read in a book or another blog post about what they should do. I don't tell them what somebody else is doing who's making it work. I tell them what I actually do every single day to make my business work and why I think that that will make their business work. And maybe I'd be wrong and I'd be like, okay, try this. Oh, it didn't work. Let's try this instead, right? Because it's all a process and it's all figuring it out. There's some formula to it, but it's not a perfect formula, right? So when I started blogging, like I said, I blogged because I had something to say. I really, really had to do it. I really had to get it out there. And it just became this really beautiful experience. This really beautiful experience of what was in my heart. And what I want you to think about when you blog, or if you're thinking about blogging, what you need to think about is, what would you write about if you didn't care about making sales? If you didn't care about making money, what would you be writing about? If it really wasn't about the money, if it's just about your purpose and your intention and your reason for being here, if it's really about sharing your heart and what's important to you, what would you write about? And we saw really good examples of that, right? Like we saw Christina today. She's like, I do this because I love it, right? It is just pure passion. She does it because she loves it, and that's why she gets noticed, right? That's why today she had a ridiculous amount of success in something that happened for her earlier today. And it's not because she's there for the money, it's because she's there for her heart. She's there because it's important to her. And you see the same with Ricky, right? Like his entire brand is built around supporting fathers, right? And he could just be there for the money and people wouldn't care. But he's there for a purpose. He's there because it's important to him. He's there because it has meaning, and when you have meaning, you connect with people. It's also my slides aren't in the order I want. Okay, I'm gonna go back. So 3 writing tricks to get your voice in your writing. Okay, so your heart. How do you get your heart into your writing? These 3 things are the exact 3 things I do whenever I sit down to write. Okay? I close my eyes. When I close my eyes, my brain quiets and my heart speaks more. When I close my eyes, I can connect with what I really feel, and I can connect with my heart, and I can express myself. I speak out loud as I write. This is another very easy way to stop the critique that goes on in your brain and have it flow. I hear from so many people, they're like, I'm not a good writer, I write like I speak. Perfect! That's how you should blog. If you want to blog, blog like you speak. Because it is a conversation. It's a conversation, and it's about you and your voice. And if you're blogging, especially if you blog for business, right? If you have your business and you're blogging and you have this like boring tone, like imagine if my blog was really, really boring, and then somebody called me and be like, hey, how you doing? And they're like, who are you? You're not the person on your blog, right? And I would be, as was already said, right? Like then we're not attracting the people that we want, right? So our voice in our blog is the perfect way for us to attract the people that we want. It is our first meeting with our clients. And don't edit as you write. Don't edit as you write. Stop the critique. It doesn't matter how many squiggly lines, word or whatever has put under your sentence fragments and your incorrect spelling. Don't edit until later. Just write. And this is exactly what I do. It's exactly what I do every time I write a post that people like. When I don't do this, people don't like it. Because I do, right? Sometimes I'm busy, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna get a freaking post out today, I'm late. And it sucks. I don't do this and it sucks, nobody likes it. But when I do this, then my heart speaks. When I do this, it's my emotion, it's my feeling, it's my energy. It's not my brain and my critique. It's totally my heart speaking. And I encourage you. And I have, I've told this to so many people. And I've had so many people come back to me, they're like, that changed my writing. That changed it, 100%. All I had to do was close my eyes, right? And it just takes you away from your brain and into your heart. And I encourage you also, if it works for you, don't write at your computer. Write by hand. Quite often, so I really do write very well on a computer. I started writing on a computer when I started doing, I had this like ridiculously long story that I wrote for years when I was like 10 to 13 years old, and I was a lucky person that had a computer at that point. So I'm very used to computer writing, but I edit by hand. Because I really like to like draw arrows and cross things out and do circles, and I do editorial calendars, content mapping for people. We do it in like this big sheet of paper and colored markers, and it's like there's no Excel spreadsheets here until later, right? Like let's get our energy out and our heart out and let's make it beautiful. So if it works for you to write by hand, write by hand. Back now. It is a personal conversation. Lots of times when we write a blog, right, we are thinking about like, oh, I want 500 people to read this. I want 1,000 people to read this. Maybe you're just like, I want 20 people to read this. You want a large number of people to read it. And you have them in your head. You're picturing them all. But you know what? For them, for that person reading your blog, is a personal experience. And I've heard, actually, it was really funny, I heard Karen McGregor speak a couple weeks ago, and she speaks about speaking. And she said the exact same thing. I was like, oh my God, they say that to people when they're writing. Because if you sit down and you write to one person, they feel that. Because when they read your blog, they're having a personal connection with you. They are talking to you, you are talking to them, it's one-to-one. You are not writing to 500 people or 10,000 people or 20 people. You are writing to one person because there's one person at any given moment reading it, they want to connect. It's just like if I talked here and I didn't look a single one of you in the eye, right? And you'd be like, wow, she doesn't really get that personal connection piece, right? It could be the exact same thing when I'm writing. If I don't look somebody in the eye when they're reading my blog post, they don't care. They don't feel connected. They will click off and go read somebody else's. There's plenty out there to read. They don't need to read mine. You have to remember, for that person reading your post, it is 100% personal. So these are the two things. You need to know your purpose. Okay, you need to know your purpose. Why are you writing? What would you write about if it wasn't about money? What is your purpose? And remember that it's just the two of you. Write to them. This is another reason why talking while you're writing is extremely valuable, because you can literally picture yourself like having coffee with your ideal client. And they are sitting on the side of your laptop and you're just like, so the other day I blah, 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 whatever, you know. Imagine them, picture them. It is between the two of you, okay? It is just between the two of you. And, you know, it comes down to like doing video as well, right? Like you are really trying to connect to somebody. And you can't you can't connect with somebody if you are like at the same time just thinking about speaking to 1,000 people, right? If you want to connect to somebody, you need to speak one at a time. So, oh, I need it now. There we go. Okay, so remember, we've got your business persona, who you are, right? And we have your ideal client and what they want. Creating lovable content is a dance between giving what's in your heart and what your ideal client wants. What do they want? How do you figure out what they want? You listen, because they will tell you. So, when my blog started to get attention last year, I paid really close attention to what people were saying, to what they were doing. One of the things I did, a good, maybe like 4 or 5 months in, I was trying to make some decisions about where I was going to go with my blog. At that time, my blog was called Just Another Mompreneur, and I wrote primarily about what it was like to be a mom and an entrepreneur. And I put out this survey. So I wanted to get a whole bunch of ideas from all these people about where I was going to go. I asked these great questions, put it out there. 20 people responded. And I was so upset that only 20 people responded. I've got hundreds of people reading my blog. Why did only 20 people respond? They don't like me. And I was like, man, those are 20 important people. Who wouldn't love to have their blog post shared 20 times on Facebook? Sounds good to me. Those are my awesome 20 people. Those are my fabulous 20 people. Those are 20 people I better listen to. And so I read that survey over and over and over. Every time a new one came in, I read, okay, what's that? Okay, they're saying that. Okay, they're saying this. Okay, they like this, they like that. There's so much information from that survey. One of the questions that I asked in that survey was, what do you think of the word mompreneur? Some people loved it, some people hated it. Some people found it demeaning. So I started using some other words as well. I didn't cut out the word mompreneur, but I used some of the other words as well, right? I used biz mama, or mama CEO, or wham, or any of the other like bazillion terms there are. Because if I only use the term that half my audience doesn't like, that sucks, that's stupid, right? So I paid attention, I listened, and I even changed my language, right? Because that's what it comes down to. And it's not stepping away from what's important to me. It's just listening and adjusting. And then, there's your beautiful Facebook analytics, right? And you watch it carefully. You see what people like that I post. What don't people like that I post? On my business page on Parrish Wilson Consulting, I really try to post things, useful blogs that I find that I think people will love. They don't care. They don't care. I have a business Facebook page. They don't care if I find the best blog post in the world. But last week, Monday actually, I had a client coming over, and because we do these big white paper content mapping sessions in my living room, and I woke up in the morning and I looked at my living room, and my children had exploded in it. And my 1-year-old had ripped toilet paper and strewn it all over the living room. I was like, oh my God, I have a meeting in an hour, and then I have a client immediately after that. And I snapped a picture of that, and I said, oh my God, this is the life of a mompreneur. I have a client today. Well, everybody loves that, right? Everybody loves that. And that's cool, right? Because that's engaging, and that's being personal. So they don't care that this morning I posted a really, really fabulous blog from somebody else. Nobody gave it a single like. But I posted a photo of my life and going to a client thing, or I posted a photo of me being here tonight, right? And lots of engagement around that. So you just need to pay attention, right? You need to pay attention to what your audience does. You need to pay attention to when. And as well, same with your analytics, right? You need to watch your analytics. What are the posts that people love and what are the posts that people hate? So last year at Thanksgiving, it's like the week before Thanksgiving, and you know, the whole news feed is filled with your posts of gratitude and blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, I'm jumping on the bandwagon, 10 things I'm grateful for. Here's my blog post, put it up. Nobody cares. Okay, I won't do that this Thanksgiving, right? I can learn. A few weeks later, I wrote a post of like my background is counseling and coaching. So I wrote a post about like mompreneur self-confidence. Part one, mompreneur self-confidence, right? Nobody liked it. Did I write part 2? No, nobody knows there's a part 2 because nobody read part 1. So I'm not writing part 2, it's a waste of my time, right? So you don't need to be so set in your head about how it's all gonna happen, right? It's all the flow, and you listen. And when people make comments, it's not just about your analytics and how many numbers they get and whatever, but you listen, you read the comments, right? What does somebody say in their comments? Did they like your tone? Did they like your humor? Did they like your information? What is the value piece that they're getting from that post, right? It's not just, ooh, right on, I got 6 comments, or I got 20 comments. What do the comments say? Because those are the people that are reading, right? If you're a photographer and nobody's saying, I love your photos, well, you got something to do, right? But, you know, you gotta pay attention, you gotta listen. It is about the numbers. The numbers matter. You wanna watch your analytics, you wanna watch your Facebook analytics, but it's not the end of the game. It's more important what people say, right? I put a post out, okay, so I'm running this blogging course right now, and just been talking to a lot of people in the last, my kids are finally back in childcare, so I feel like I'm back in my business. The last 2 weeks have been awesome, talking to so many people. I was like, yeah, how do I get my blog post out there? How do I get my blog post out there? So this week I wrote a really solid post about blog post distribution. How do you get your blog post seen by the world, right? And it was amazing because so many people have said to me, thank you, this is exactly what I needed to know. And I was like, oh, fabulous. I listened, I wrote, they thanked me. Like, that's it, right? That's the whole thing. That's the purpose, you know? And, you know, and then there's this little part of me that, because I keep refreshing to see how many shares I've had on it, right? And I'm like, oh, it's not quite as high as I wanted. But then I remind myself, how many people are commenting to me and saying thank you? Because that's more important. Because it doesn't matter if 1,000 people come to my site today. You know what? I can't serve 1,000 people in my business today. But if 10 people come to my site and they love me, yeah, I can serve 10 people today. So that's great, that's enough. It is about quality over quantity. I talked really fast.
How much more time do you have then?
I don't know, I was gonna time myself, I was gonna pace myself, I got too excited. 15 minutes. 15 minutes?
Oh.
Okay, good, we'll do lots of questions then. So, there is a formula, okay? So there is a formula. If you haven't caught it yet, there is a formula, and it is your client's topics and your heart. And that is what will do it for you. You need to listen to what they want, right? You're there to serve. You're not there to just be me. This is all about me. You can. You totally do that. Totally do that. Sure. Do it. It's fine. But most of us are here to serve. We are here because we want to make the world a better place, or we want to make our neighborhood a better place, or our family a better place. Right? We are here to serve. So we need to listen to what people want. And we need to put that there. We need to put it there with our heart in it. If we don't put our heart in it, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody connects. You'll be just one more blog post. It comes down to building community. This is the foundation of blogging. This is where it all started. It comes to building community. What is the community around your blog? What do you want it to be? That comes back to your intention and your purpose. What is your reason for doing this? Why do you want to build a community? How do you want to build a community? Who do you want in your community? And create it and create it and make it and nurture it and refine it. And this, you know, this here, this is like, you're constantly refining and reshaping this, right? Because who you are isn't static, and who your ideal client isn't static, right? Some people, they do their like ideal client exercise 5 years ago, and they're still writing to the same person. That person's not the same. 5 years of their life happened, right? They do their business persona exercise, they do all that, put it in their fancy business plan. 5 years later, they're a different person. So this is constantly refining. You're constantly, who am I? Who am I today? Who am I this week? I'm a different business owner this week than I was a month ago when I didn't have childcare. Right? I was a different person 4 months ago when my husband was on parental leave and I got to work every day. Right? I'm a different business owner. I can give a different amount. I have a different feeling about it. Every single week is a little bit different, and you don't want to be like flighty and not have any consistency in your message, but it's about your heart and who you really are. And your ideal client will change as well, and they will shift because they grow. And you're always, always, always listening. And you build your community. And when you build your community, you make sales. At the end of the day, we are here because we want to make money. Most of us. And that's fine, because you can't eat without money. You can't give the things you want to give to your children without money. You can't have some of the experiences that you want to have without money. So there's nothing wrong with wanting money. Right? And when you can make money giving value, when you can make money because you work from your heart every day, that's like a whole world, right? Like that's what it's all about. Anybody in the world who's doing that is happy. Those people are happy. So when you work this way, when you're marketing, because that's what blogging is, right? Blogging is marketing. You are either blogging as a business and therefore using it to create traffic to support other businesses. It's marketing, you're bringing people in. Or you're blogging for your business, so you are actually putting your blogs out to draw people to you. It's all marketing. That's the purpose of it. That's the point. Blogging is not anymore of just like people just sharing their stories. You can do that. That's not money making, right? This is about money making. And when you do that marketing with love and real, authentic who you are, and you actually connect and help people, you actually make money. And you can make really good money. And you can be really happy. And it can create what you want to create. It just takes work, right? It takes all the things I said. It takes making the effort, it takes paying attention, and it's not a game and it doesn't happen overnight. It takes learning and paying attention and caring and writing and closing your eyes when you write. So I help business owners, and I help business owners in a few different ways. Do content mapping, which is this like crazy, beautiful, strategic editorial calendar that supports your businesses and your launches through the whole year. And we pick out topics that actually connect your heart to your client's need. And I do writing coaching for people that really need help with writing, and they want me on a one-on-one basis to say like, does this suck or is this great? And I take people through 6 months of writing coaching with the intention that at the end of 6 months they don't need me and they are better writers. And I run Biz Writing Bliss, which is a lot of fun. It's a one-day retreat. It is for women only. It is a small retreat. It takes 6 to 7 women, and we spend the day writing together. I bring in a gourmet, vegan, gluten-free chef. She's also a yoga instructor, and we eat and we do yoga and we write. And she's amazing. It's like you sit there and she brings you coffee and then a smoothie and then water, and it's beautiful. The next one is on the art of vulnerability. So it dives even deeper into this topic specifically and how to be vulnerable in your writing and be professional, and how to make that balance happen. But for you guys today, I'm going to give you all a complimentary strategy session. So we can talk on the phone, and we can tackle whatever issue you are having, whether it is how do I get started, or what should the purpose be, or what do I really care about, or when should I start, or what do I do next? Whatever your question is, we'll talk about it, okay? So all you have to do is email me. That is my email. My cards are also out there if you want to grab my card. And we will set up a time to talk. And other than that, the real point of it all is just be lovable. Just be lovable. Okay? That's it. That's all. If you have any questions, I will take them. Or you can save them for our phone call. Up to you. Yep.
So, I'm a video blogger.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that the same principles would apply?
Absolutely. It applies for any type of content that you're creating. It applies if you're writing an ebook. It applies if you're doing a podcast. It applies for your social media updates. I even sometimes you post on Facebook and you really want people to like it. I close my eyes when I'm going to post on Facebook, right? Because it is, every single little bit of it is your effort to connect with someone's heart. Every piece of content that you put out there. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
You keep mentioning Facebook.
Yeah.
And honestly, my video blog flopped on Facebook.
I did what?
It
Oh,
flopped.
flopped. I thought you said
Yeah.
something else.
It actually sucks on Facebook. But I got invited to blog on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I have thousands of. So is the principle matter if it's Facebook versus LinkedIn, or
Well,
the listen part?
yeah, the listen part, 100%, right? And then you always need to be aware. It is the listen part. It's entirely the listen part, because you need to be aware of your audience, right? And your audience on LinkedIn is different than your audience on Facebook, right? It's different than the audience on Twitter. And each one of your social networks need to be used a little bit differently, right? It doesn't mean that you are not yourself on LinkedIn, which is something that I have a problem with. Every time I go to post something on LinkedIn, I'm like, oh, how do I be myself on LinkedIn? It's like last week's post, it's got F-bomb in the title, and I'm like, I'm posting this on LinkedIn. But this is me. This is, you hang out with me enough, you're gonna hear some swear words, and that's okay, and I'm gonna put it in my post, and I'm fine with that, right? And ultimately, it is back to attracting the people that you want attracted to you, right? So it's wherever your people are. It's wherever you feel great. I think one of the most important things about, people are always saying with your social media, go where your audience is, go where your audience is. That's number one. Number two is go where you love it, right? Because you are not going to master a social media network that you hate, right? So, unless it's you are marketing to moms and you don't like Facebook, you got to get over yourself. You're going to fail. But, if it's not sort of that type of extreme situation, then you go where you feel comfortable, because that's where you're going to be able to be yourself and where you're going to write the status update that counts, right? Or if you're really good at 140 characters, which I'm so not good at 140 characters, right? So you have to make it, it's a combination of where's your audience and where do you love to be. So, yeah. Anything else? Yeah?
Not a question, but I just want to say that I've had the privilege of being part of Parrish's 8-week blogging class, and in just 3 weeks, with the little things and big things that she provides, it made a big, big change. So absolutely love what you have to offer.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Actually, Emily asked me at the beginning of today, she's like, so did you have it all planned and like you had this whole course set up and, you know, no. I had my blog topics set, and every week I am putting the lesson together based on what people are asking me.
Great listening.
Yeah. And, you know, yes, I can absolutely automate things, and I'm not against automation. I have parts of my business that are absolutely automated because I can't do everything. But whenever I have the opportunity of creating something unique that's actually designed for the people that I'm involved with, like that goes above and beyond, because there are so many online courses right now that are just 100% automated, and nobody's listening to you. And yeah, you might have 500 people in your course, but nobody's connecting with you. So why not have 50 people in your course and connect? I send one-on-one emails to the people in my course. If you write me, I'm writing you back. If I don't write you back, remind me because I forgot.
That actually was almost a shock, the amount of personal involvement.
Yeah, because there's so, I love the internet marketing model. It is great. I plan on being a superstar of it, but with my own twist on that it is personal, and I will do it personal and unique every single moment that I get. Because that's what's gonna make me stand out. That's what will make you stand out in your business. My mortgage broker, I love her. If you need a mortgage broker, I will tell you, this woman, we get cards, we get, well, I mean, for every referral, we get like a gift card, right? I had my second son, she sent me $100 spa gift certificate.
Right.
She said, I've got 2 boys. I know what you're going through. You need to go to the spa.
Smart.
Right? Like that is so personal. She knows that I have my second son, right? She could have just sent me the card and that would have been amazing. She sent me a spa gift certificate. That was amazing, right? I will never go to another mortgage broker. It does not matter if I have a best friend mortgage broker. We'll never change mortgage brokers. So it really is about personal connection. Every single step of the way. It doesn't matter if you have a brick and mortar business. It doesn't matter if you have an online business. It doesn't matter if you have a blog that's being read by 5,000 people or 10,000 people or 500 people. You write in the way that you're connecting one-to-one and you're having an emotional connection. And that makes it lovable. And even when you write about business, you can still be there with your heart. Anything else? Any other questions? Nope. All right, well, I've got 1 minute, so. Okay, thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Parrish.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Awesome. So who's going to create some lovable content after that talk?
Yes.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, some